Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're doing great. Today, I wanted to share some of the forms that I think are absolutely critical for facility managers, property managers, chief engineers, anyone that runs a facility or who is looking to acquire a new building. If you're operating an existing one, this just helps with further documentation. And I liken it to the saying, the dullest pencil is still sharper than the best memory. So having these questions in this type of a format that allows you to identify key components of your building or buildings and help you better understand kind of what you're working with at every level that you can share during meetings. If you're looking to do upgrades, TIs, anything in general, you'll have a really good reference point with an inspection and kind of something that's verified so that you can anticipate costs. You can just do all sorts of things with this template. So let's hop right into it. It's called the Technical Due Diligence form. It is a really simple and straightforward but effective technical due diligence form. Some people abbreviate it as TDD, and you'll see as we go through here what this is. In the beginning, right, you want to assign kind of what the location is, what the transaction type is. Do you guys own this building? Is it a lease? Project executive, if you have one. Is there a project lead? Do you have a PM? Are you outsourcing this to somebody else that's going to take care of it? And then finally, the date of inspection. As you'll notice, there's several different categories here. The first one being business continuity. So as you go down, you're going to want to ask yourself a lot of different questions. And again, this helps you build a really solid understanding of everything that's going on within your building and surrounding area. Some of these things you think might be trivial, but as you go down the list, you're going to realize that this is a really comprehensive evaluation of the building, and you never know when something like this is going to come into play. The first question on here, it's really interesting. So years ago, we did a project where one of the tenants was a dry cleaner. They were using a banned chemical, ended up leaking into the soil. What we had to do was get in touch with soils engineers. We had to drill a underground storage tank for monitoring. Turns out, as they drilled down, it was on some ancient Indian burial grounds. We had to reach out to the local tribe and have them come verify that this area was safe to continue drilling. So, as crazy as it sounds, the heritage sites, heritage registries, or anything else going on, historic preservation, you never know. And just having an understanding of this, although it sounds kind of silly because maybe you're like, oh, what's wrong with this building? I would have never known that dry cleaner was on an ancient Indian burial ground. So go figure. I won't go word for word, but I'll kind of hit the major sections here, as you can see. So then when you go into operations and facility management, you'll see that it asks for certificate of occupancy or the equivalent. Is this a 24/7? As you continue to go down, it asks you basic things like security, common property association regulations, if you want the HOA rules and bylaws. As you continue to go down, we'll hit construction logistics. So you're going to want to know, is there any labor, union labor in the building? What are the contractor, subcontractor parking regulations? Is the building under construction? Really, really basic thing. Delivery area staging seems simple to do, but it's also simple not to do. There's so many instances, as I'm sure you can all relate. Contractors parking in the front, dropping a dumpster in the wrong area, not having enough rules or regulations around what your guidelines are so that they kind of take this ad hoc procedure out of it. So making sure that those are established. As you continue to go down, architectural building information. So it's going to ask all of these things: accessibility, elevator room, tenant improvements, signage codes, you name it. So I'll keep going. Again, and then you can add in your company metrics. So what you expect these things to happen. Structural review, great, another really important thing. HVAC, MEP, for those of you who are unaware, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So what are the current equipment and ventilation systems? So you're going to want to know all of these things as you continue to go through. There's some really solid questions in here. so that you understand heat loads, occupancy loads, what is it rated for, when's the last time these things were serviced. Um, Really, really great questions to ask and know the answer to, so that you, as the FM, can be more equipped. Again, it's not trying to burden yourself with nuisance things. It's something that is valuable, that you can understand your building in numbers, that you know the metrics, and that you can respond to quickly and refer back to a document that is not a static but a living thing, so that other people, whether it's a board member, a new person, a new supervisor comes on and they want to ask you a question, or if you're just trying to train people in general about your entire building, this document can be used for so many things. As you continue to go down, um, MEP again, so this is focused on the electrical aspect of things. So this really wants to know, your services, are they expandable? Was there a short circuit study done? All sorts of really wonderful things in here. For those of you who don't know what a coordination or a short circuit study is, I highly recommend you look into that. A lot of times these buildings, when constructed, are set up with a very generic piece of switchgear that they don't know what the loads down the line are going to be, no pun intended. And as you continue to build out this facility over periods of weeks, months, years, these things change. So having a coordination study done that will show that the panels go in a coordinated effort before they hit the main is really imperative. I had a building one time, actually I had multiple buildings. Coordination study wasn't done. They continued to add on tons of electrical equipment. Next thing you know, it skips the standard path of coordination and ends up shorting out a bus duct. We lost power to the building. There was a full building, like right at the end of the winter, which was the peak season, cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in room compensation. I'm sure you get the idea. So having that done is so imperative to have. Again, you go to generator, standby power-ups, plumbing and sanitary questions. So here's where you're going to know pipe size, tenant space. So all of these things help you understand what's going to be added on down the line. When someone says, "Oh, what size line is that in the ceiling?" You're going, "Oh, I think it's 2-inch, 3-inch, 2.25, 3.25, 1.5." It takes all the guesswork out of it. You don't have to do it at that moment. There's a lot less pressure. It's been verified. You've taken the time ahead of hand to do this. It really speaks volumes about you as the FM. Keep going through elevators, some really basic questions, fire suppression. So as you can see, this is a really comprehensive document, and will help you become a better FM by just knowing your systems. So if this is something that you're interested in, leave me a comment, send me a message. I will upload this to my website so that it's free for you to download at any time. And then quickly, I'll touch on just a quick MEP checklist. So anybody that's interested in kind of taking the fast pass at this is the condensed version of that. It's certainly not as in-depth, but if you're in a pinch or you're just trying to task out some of your team to find out some information, this is really a great form that you can give to them and have them go through and record all of this information. So that's really all I have for the day, and I hope you found this useful. Again, I would absolutely, if you don't have this or you have some version of your own, congratulations. This is a really great document to have and something that can live on in perpetuity. And remember, your job as the FM, not only is it to protect the asset and the life safety of the people occupying and maybe perhaps guests of the space, but it's to understand your job extremely well in numbers and to be able to duplicate yourself to the point where you are now not the only one capable of this information. So you don't have to be the bottleneck for anything. You can publish this information, post it to your entire department, and now you've multiplied your effectiveness by sharing your information. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great short week this week, and reach out if there's anything I can help with, and have a great one.